A whisper from the past, the sun rose lazily over the small town of Brindlewood, casting golden rays on the worn-out streets. It was here in the local hospital that a miracle and a mystery were about to unfold. Private Charlie Anderson, a soldier who had fought bravely in World War II, lay in a hospital bed after being injured in battle. Days went by and Charlie had drifted in and out of consciousness, but something extraordinary happened when he finally woke up. As he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was the sterile white ceiling of his room. A calm breeze came through the open window, and he could hear the distant sound of children playing outside. He tried to sit up, but his body felt heavy. A nurse named Clara entered the room. She was kind and soft-spoken, with bright blue eyes. "Good morning, Private Anderson." "You're awake," she said with a warm smile. "Where am I?" Charlie croaked, his voice rusty. "You're in Brindlewood Hospital." "You've been here for a while," Clara replied, checking his vitals. I don't remember much," Charlie said. His mind was foggy, but he felt something deep within him, something different. Then Charlie began speaking, but the words came out as fluid phrases in a language he didn't know. "Kazesthak," he exclaimed, staring wide-eyed at Clara. "What did you say?" Clara asked, puzzled. "Kazesthak? Romanum descripta?" Charlie repeated, slurring the unfamiliar words, his face a mixture of confusion and wonder. Clara's heart raced. She had studied history and languages, and this sounded like Latin, a language that had not been spoken for centuries. "Are you trying to speak Latin?" Clara asked, leaning closer, her excitement growing. I think so," Charlie responded, his brow wrinkled. "But why? I don't understand." Clara hurriedly left the room to find Dr. Wilson. When she returned with him, she found Charlie sitting in bed, his face pale. "Charlie, you're speaking Latin," Dr. Wilson said in disbelief. "Can you tell me what you remember?" Charlie shook his head. His memories were like shards of glass, scattered and sharp. "I remember fighting. I remember a fire. I felt something like a whisper. It was as if someone was talking to me, teaching me this language." Dr. Wilson and Clara exchanged looks of intrigue. "We need to find out more," Dr. Wilson said. "Let's see if we can jog your memory." Days turned into weeks as Clara and Dr. Wilson worked with Charlie. They would read ancient texts to him and analyze his responses. Each day, he spoke more words in Latin, finding a strange comfort in them. One afternoon, Clara brought in a book of Roman history. "Charlie, can you read this aloud for me?" she asked. "Residential Publica Romana Luminat Astra," he began, his voice growing stronger. "What does it mean?" Clara prompted. "The Roman Republic shines to the stars," he replied. Clara's eyes widened. It was as if Charlie tapped into a world long gone, a place that held secrets in its whispers. "Why do you think this is happening?" she asked, intrigued. "I don't know," Charlie said slowly. "But it feels important, like I'm meant to understand more." One night, during a thunderstorm, Charlie sat in his room, staring out the window. The rain pattered against the glass like whispers of forgotten stories. He closed his eyes and suddenly saw visions, a soldier in Roman armor, a battlefield in a great city. "Clara!" he called out, startling her as she walked by. "Come here." She rushed in, catching her breath. "What is it?" "I saw something." "A vision," he said, trying to catch his thoughts. "There was a soldier, a Roman. He spoke to me. He said I have a purpose." "What was his name?" Clara asked, heart racing with anticipation. "Lucius," Charlie said, his eyes shining with certainty. He said something about honor and the future. Clara paused, realizing this was more than a dream. It was a connection across time. "We need to help you remember, Charlie. Find out why Lucius is speaking to you." Thus began their quest. They researched Roman history, trying to find connections between Charlie's life and Lucius's. Days passed, and finally, they stumbled upon an ancient text that mentioned a soldier named Lucius Valerius who fought valiantly during a major battle. "Charlie, this may be your link," Clara said, excitement bubbling in her voice. Charlie's expression turned solemn. "What if I am somehow connected to him? What if he is reaching out through me?" Their journey led them to discover that Lucius Valerius had died in battle, trying to protect his comrades. He wanted his honor to live on, Clara said softly, understanding the bond forming between Charlie and Lucius Point one evening. As the sun set, Charlie sat by his window, whispering words of Latin. He felt invigorated, knowing that he was carrying Lucius's spirit forward. A soft knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. "Just checking on you, Charlie," Clara said, peeking in. "I feel free," Charlie replied with a smile, knowing he would carry Lucius's story into the world as the war in Europe ended and peace returned. Charlie emerged from the hospital, ready to embrace his life. He realized that while he had awakened speaking a dead language, he was alive with a new purpose. Together with Clara, they set out to share the story of the brave soldier Lucius Valerius, ensuring that his honor would never fade into the shadows of history. And as they walked down the streets of Brindlewood, Charlie knew he would always carry the whispers of the past, guiding him toward the future.